So today we are back in the Champions phone. It's Antonio Demancic, our new centre-back. Demancic, hello mate, how you doing? Good to speak to you. How are you settling in? You want to leave? I mean, you've only been here a month. Are you sure you want to leave? I've not brought in any other centre midfielders that you asked for. But, you know, you've only been here like 2-3 weeks. Surely you'd give me until like summer to bring in some midfielders? No, that's not enough. Are you not being a bit impatient? No, if you look, let's talk about this. Don't be too aggy yet. Don't leave the club. We'll sort this one out. We'll sort it out, mate. Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode as we take on Man City in the Champions League. Congratulations to everyone who got that correct in the comment section of yesterday's video. But first and foremost, well, we need to talk about Antonio Demancic. Now, he's unhappy at the club. Why? Well, it's because not enough of you are pressing the like button. Make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. No, actually, that's a lie. That's not actually it. He's unhappy because apparently I have failed to strengthen the squad. Now, I was very aware that there was a promise in his contracts to bring in some more centre midfielders. I just thought we'd have a little bit more time to do it than 2 weeks. He joined us, as you can see, on the 15th of the 1st, 2029. And, well, as you can see, he joined us on the 15th of the 1st, 2029. Less than 2 weeks before the transfer window shut. The window shut, and he came to me and said I've not fulfilled his promise. Usually, they give you at least half a season to get more midfielders in to build the squad that they want. He gave me 2 weeks, so he's very cross and now wants to leave the club. You'll also notice we spent £101 million on players, which is absolutely mental. I can't believe we spent that much money. But we also brought in £84 million worth of players. 30 million for Fuan Tauber, 17, nearly 18, in fact 22, rising to 22 for Gavin Bazunu, 12 for Ferguson, 11 rising to 15 for Pavlik, 7.5 for Winks. A lot of money raised. It's not the only issue for Demancic though. So he's unhappy that we've not brought in midfielders. He's also not happy because, if we look here, he's finding it difficult to settle in and he hates Jim McBangled. It's a bit annoying, right? So I've had to make another promise to him. And the promise is to bring a player to help him settle. So either a Croatian player, I imagine, or someone from his club. Thing is, though, I don't want to bring in Croatian players or anything like that. I said yesterday we want to bring in Scottish players. The issue with that, though, is that, well, the Scottish players aren't very good, if I'm honest with you. I mean, Jordan Ross is the best, but he's just gone to Real Madrid. He's the guy that started off at, was it Hearts? Hearts, he started off, we went to Bayer Leverkusen, just gone to Real Madrid. We tried to buy him at this point, but Leverkusen outbid us and got him instead. I'd like to bring in Aaron Fielding, but he has never been interested in joining us, and he's wanted by PSG, so if he's going to go anywhere, he'll probably go there. Billy Gilmore is vastly overpriced for how good he is, and then Kieran Tierney's a bit old. This guy at Celtic, too expensive. It's going to be difficult, and it doesn't really get much easier when we look at the under-21 squad. Like, there's not a whole lot of talent in there. Under-20s, not a whole lot of talent in there. Under-19s, not much talent in there. Although these guys have just moved into the under-21 squad, so let's get scout reports on those guys. And then the under-18s, kind of similar, just not a whole lot of talent in there. Now, I think for homegrown players, or domestic players, England, Wales and Northern Ireland might count as well. So I am already scouting out English players. However, the senior squad lads are far too expensive and probably overvalued anyway. But, you know, it'd be nice to bring in, you know, a Jude Bellingham. He'd be great, but too expensive. And then I don't think we've got many... We've got quite a few scout reports on the 21s, but again, will be expensive. And, you know, as it goes down, English players are already expensive, so I'd rather not sign them. Anyway, since you guys were last here for the, where is it, Hibs game at the start of the transfer window, we've gone on to play quite a few games and we've done phenomenally well. 4-0 against Rangers, 2-0 against Dundee, a phenomenal 12-0 against Dunfermline, 4-0 against St Johnstone, 3-0 against St Mirren, 4-0 against Hearts. but a 1-0 against Celtic. The loss to Celtic did hit home quite hard, actually. Was not particularly happy with that one. And it's made me worry. I want to play the 4-2-3-1 against Man City today, but that loss to Celtic has thrown me off, and I think we need to go for that slightly more defensive 4-4-1-1. In terms of the league table, though, as you can see, we've already qualified for the Champions League now, which is fantastic. Celtic only 3 points behind us in the league. Rangers currently quite far off the pace. But we've got an issue. Because we've qualified for the Champions League, the board have decided to give us the wage bill, or the wage bill and the budget for next season. And that's based off our current financial situation, which isn't very good because we spent loads of money in January and we've not got Champions League money yet. So the budget is 18 million. That's what they're giving us for next season. When we've got 30 million in the bank account, we'll get more as the Champions League goes on as well. We need more money, and the board I don't think will give it to us. We've also just had the youth intake, which again is pretty poor. Obviously, we saw that all Scottish players at the moment look pretty poor in terms of potential. But I do quite like how we've got an Argentinian guy coming through, a Canadian guy, and a guy from Madagascar that I cannot pronounce at all. But obviously, we have to set the nickname to King Julian for him, because there's no other better name for him. If you get the reference, you get the reference. Also, I am being very careful to, well, not show you results past that Celtic game, because a bit of an issue with today's episode. I've already recorded it, but I made a mistake. So, my microphone here, it's here. You can, here it is. Sits on my desk. Fantastic stuff. It's usually plugged into my computer, as you'd expect. But I also have my work computer at this desk as well. And I had a meeting earlier on, and I just plugged the microphone in for the meeting into that computer, because what's the point in buying two microphones for two? Use the same one, right? Forgot to unplug it from that computer back into my computer when I actually recorded this episode properly. Basically, you'll see me in the bottom corner with my lips moving, but the actual audio is not going to be that, because obviously this microphone wasn't plugged in. I'm an idiot. So today's games are going to be a little bit more like highlights as opposed to an actual proper episode. Today's episode will be quite short, but I tried to get as much news in for you as possible at the start. And it's stuff I talked about in the episode anyway, so we've covered all the talking points of the episode. It's just the games that will be a little bit shorter. So I do apologise, but I'm recording this after work, so it's now 5 o'clock. This comes out at 8 o'clock. So I don't really have time to play forward to like the next few. Basically, I'm limited on time to get this edited, rendered, uploaded, and re-recorded audio. So I do apologise. It's just the situation, but we make the best of a bad situation here at TomFM. So, started off by telling you that we're going to play with the 4-4-1-1 today after that 1-0 loss to Celtic, which scared me a little bit. However, because Lassie Alien is injured, Shaban is playing as a right winger, because apparently he can't play as a right midfielder. It was also, at this point, I was telling you to download the One Football app. It was a great sponsorship integration, but obviously I can't do it now because it's gone. The video's gone. So, you know, you could download the One Football app for free from the top line of the description for absolutely free, because it is the best football app out there to keep up to date with all of the latest footballing news, scores and updates from around the world. But I've kind of missed the boat on that one now, apparently, because, well, you know, I couldn't record the audio, so I couldn't tell you to download the app for free from the top line of the description. You hate to see it. Either way, we started off pretty strongly in the game in the first half, although there weren't many highlights at all. All the highlights were for us, nothing for Man City, and we finally broke the deadlock through Sebastian Varela in the 64th minute. And the very, very quiet game ended up very, very quiet, I must say. We finished this game off by winning 1-0, but this goal here was superb. Jan Cavalcanti with a great interception, Varela into Shaban, back to Varela. It was a great move between three of our attackers and a superb goal to cap off what was a really solid performance against Man City as we won 1-0 in the first leg, taking an away goal back with us to Aberdeen. The second leg was going to be a little more tricky though, because I decided to go full attack, the 4-2-3-1. I felt confident after that first leg. We'd also played 3 games off camera in between episodes, in between games I should say, and won all 3 of them comfortably playing that formation. So I decided the 4-2-3-1 was the way to go, and I hoped it was going to work. I really hoped it was going to work. And we started off very strongly. Tam McLumper with a great ball into Varela, who scores 2 minutes into the game. It's just a shame he was offside for it, unfortunately. So a good start. At least we know we can score goals. It was just a shame that one was marginally offside. It was really, really tight, the offside decision, as you can see here from the replay. But it was the correct decision in the end. However, we were still pretty decent. 6 minutes on the clock. Passos puts the ball all the way through. It goes to Lassie Alien, who plays it into Tam McLumper, who puts the ball in the middle, and it takes Varela 3 shots, but eventually he does put it in the back of the net. A big defensive mistake there from the Man City defenders, just not being able to clear the ball at all. And it happened again. Man City just could not clear the ball in their box for some reason in the first 10 minutes of this game. We just came out the blocks quickly, and as you can see here, Shaban getting the ball into a good area. It's cleared out from the back there, but I've realised that's probably the wrong highlight to include now. I don't know why I've done that one. I think I was meant to talk about Man City being ineffective. Oh, you hate to see this. This is not a great performance today from me, but we've scored another goal there, as you'd love to see. I was meant to talk about Man City not being very good going forward, but no, we then score a goal with a very similar situation, with it just defensively not being very good. And then right before half-time, again, it always seems to come down the left-hand side of the pitch. We are so strong there, as this time Cavalcanti scores the 3rd goal of the game just before half-time. So at this point, 3-0 up, feeling very, very confident that we are going to be going through into the later stages of the Champions League. And just to finish it all off, Lassie Alien not brought down for a penalty. It goes back out to Howarth, who puts it into Shaban, who makes it for 5-0 on aggregate. And that is exactly how the game against Man City finished. We were absolutely on fire today. So happy with the way we played. Really annoyed that I messed up the audio on this one, but I think it's still fantastic results for us either way. So that brings us to the end of today's episode, although a few talking points still to talk about before we finish things up here today. It's been a bad day. Slept through my alarm. I dropped and broke an oven tray or an oven dish earlier on, taking some stuff out the oven. Didn't have oven gloves, so I used a tea towel, and then I dropped it because I'm an idiot. It smashed everywhere. Had to put the food in the bin because it's been on the floor. Was meant to put more food back in. Forgot to do that. So I'm very hungry at lunchtime, which put me in a bad mood. Now this has happened, and I'm about to go cycling. And I feel like I should wait until there's no traffic, because the way things are going today, it's not looking good for me. But at the end of the episode, I went to go and play Kilmarnock off camera. We won 4-2, which was great. So we're still top of the table, as you can see here on the left-hand side. But we did the Champions League quarter-final and semi-final draws. Yes, that's the one. And, well, I'll tell you what, we've been drawn against Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final. Celtic, by the way, got knocked out of that's last season. I want the first knockout round. Celtic got knocked out by Real Madrid 4-0 on aggregate. So they're out of Champions League. So are Monaco, which is very good. So that's one Scottish team, one French team out. But obviously PSG are still in there, as are we. Into the quarterfinals then, we take on Chelsea. And if we get past Chelsea, we're going to have one of Milan or Bayern Munich in the semi-final, which means that there could be a final against PSG still to come. But ideally, Real Madrid will knock them out. So they stop all the French coefficient points, and we gain more coefficient points and hopefully overtake France. The issue is, we are now the last Scottish club in European football. If we go down to the Europa League second knockout round, Rangers lost to Napoli in the second knockout round. Luckily, St Etienne, Marseille and Lyon all knocked out there as well, but because there's three French teams to one Scottish team, they've got a ton more coefficient points from the Europa League this season. And then in the Europa Conference League, there is only one French team left in there, Nice. However, in the second knockout round, they knocked out Hibs. So the French are getting more coefficient points here. So it's going to be very difficult to catch them up this season. If we look at the coefficient points currently, you'll see that France are on 73, whereas we're on 68.4. So we're like 4.5 points behind them. We need all the French teams to be knocked out now. And basically, for us to reach the final, if not win the Champions League, to overtake France this season. It's getting close. We just need other teams to do us a favour in all European competitions, Scottish and non-Scottish clubs, to beat the French teams. So next episode, we will be back for the Champions League quarter-final against Chelsea, and I promise you I will record it properly, because we can't make many more mistakes like this one today, can we? If you have somehow got some enjoyment out of today's episode, make sure you do drop a like on it for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Make sure you leave a comment down below as well, letting me know how you think we'll do in the Champions League. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all have a much better day than I've been having. Although, as bad days go, it could have gone a lot worse, I suppose, couldn't it? There could be a lot worse things in the world happening than me breaking an oven tray and not forgetting to take a microphone out of one computer. It could be a lot worse, right? Count your blessing, I suppose. But still, it's still not very fun, even though it's massively first world problems. And I'm just rambling on now because, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Either way, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Goodbye.